you ever felt frustrated, overwhelmed, or stuck wasting time in admin instead of growing, leveraging, and scaling your business? Then this podcast is for you. Welcome to Delegate to Elevate, the podcast that's all about handing off what you don't need to do so you can focus on what you do best. So here's your host, Bonnie Schutz.
Hello there, and welcome back to Delegate to Elevate. Get done. I'm your host, Bonnie Schutz here. I am here today to save you from hiring headaches, costly mistakes, and the all too common "what was I thinking" moments in your business. Today, we're diving into something that can make or break your business: hiring the right fractional team members or vendors. Whether you're bringing in a fractional CFO, a marketing consultant, or a subcontractor for your VA business, the interview questions you ask can mean the difference between hiring a total rock star or getting stuck with someone who talks a big game but delivers about as much as a vending machine that ate your dollar. Do you hate that? I know I do. So let's get into it. I would like to give you 7 must-ask questions to help you avoid a hiring disaster. So here's number 1. Tell me about a time when a project didn't go as planned. What did you do? Look, we all have a good success story, but I want to hear about the messy stuff, because how someone handles failure tells you everything. Do they take accountability, or do they blame the client? Mercury in retrograde and the alignment of the stars. They get all woo. Who knows? Because I'm not hiring someone who needs the universe to be perfectly aligned just to do their job. Red flag? If they can't think of a single time something went sideways, either they're lying or they have the self-awareness of a houseplant. All right, let's look at number 2. Let's ask them this. How do you communicate, and how often? This one is big. Some people need an hour-long Zoom every Monday, while others prefer a Slack message, my hand is raised, and an occasional thumbs up, my thumb is up emoji. If your styles don't match, it's going to feel like trying to text your grandma through Snapchat. I literally know how to use Snapchat, folks. I'm a pro, by the way. I've learned this whole thing the hard way. I once had a subcontractor who only answered emails on Sundays. Meanwhile, I'm over here on a Thursday wondering if they'd been abducted by aliens. Not fun, and huge red flag, which I probably should have seen before I even brought them on board, but #lessons learned, right? All right, next one. Ask them this. Can you walk me through your process from start to finish? So this question separates the seasoned pros from the ones who are just winging it. You want someone who has a game plan, not someone who is making it up and faking it till they make it as they go. If they fumble through the answer like, I just kind of, do it. Oh my God, run. You don't need a magician pulling solutions out of a proverbial hat. You need a professional with a roadmap. And my next golden nugget, question 4. What do you need from me for you to be successful? This one is a sneaky good, because it tells you 2 things. 1, whether they've thought about what makes them work best. And 2, whether they're just going to sit there waiting for you to spoon feed them everything. I once worked with someone who needed so much hand-holding. I felt like I was back to raising a toddler. I kid you not. And listen, I love helping people grow, but I'm running a business, not a daycare. Mic drop, if I could drop this mic, but I can't. So the next question I would ask them is, what kind of clients do you not work well with? This is super insightful. Oof, this one is a gold mine. Anyone can tell you what they like, but if they can be honest about what they don't like, that's a green flag, right? For example, if they say something like, I don't work well with micromanagers, and you like to check in every 5 minutes, well, we might have a problem. The goal here isn't to judge their answer. No. It's to see if your working styles match before you both regret everything. And I call it your communication love languages, if you can vibe like that, just like a relationship in your love language. So how about this? This is a pretty evident, obvious question. Can you provide references? I know. This sounds obvious, but I cannot tell you how many people really, truly skip this part. I once almost hired a vendor based on their snazzy website and confident pitch to me until I dug a little deeper. The references I called, let's just say their reviews were about as glowing as a flickering light bulb in a horror movie. So yeah, ask for references and actually take the time to call them. So number lucky 7, what's your backup plan if you get hit by a bus? And that's a little rude, but it's just an old adage, and I use it quite often, actually. What if I got hit by a bus? Then what would happen? Okay, so maybe you don't word it exactly like that. But the point is, if they disappear, get sick, or God forbid, win the lottery and move to some remote island or something, what happens? Do they have a backup plan? A process for handing things off? Or are they just going to vanish like your ex who still owes you money? You need to know if they have a plan B, because, you shouldn't be left scrambling if they suddenly can't deliver. So, okay, friends, that's a wrap on today's super snazzy quick episode. I just had to get this one out there because, I'm feeling it with you. I'm right there. Hiring the right fractional talent or vendors isn't about luck. And here, this is kind of actually super apropos. As I'm recording this, it's about to be March, the luck of the Irish month. So it's hiring vendors is not about luck. It's about asking the right questions, getting clear on how they work, how they handle challenges, and whether your styles align. Oh, and always check those references. That's it. If you love this episode, short, sweet, quick, to the point, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you're looking for a badass team of VAs, I'm just going to throw this in here to help you get done. You know where to find me. tandemresourcesolutions.com. But I don't like to plug my business because this podcast is for you. So I will see you next time. Ta-ta for now.
So that's it for today's episode of Delegate to Elevate. Head on over to Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen and subscribe to the show. One lucky listener every single week that posts a review on Apple Podcasts or iTunes will win a chance in the grand prize drawing to win a $15,000 private VIP day with Bonnie herself. Be sure to head on over to delegate-to-elevate-podcast.com. That's with the number 2. And pick up a free copy of Bonnie's gift and join us on the next episode.